What's up? Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard to Trading Live with Bubba. Well, again, still quiet. A lot of news this week, a lot of news next week. Markets have been fairly wild. We're getting jittery again right now. NASDAQ has had about a 150-point range up and down. Gold hit 3,700 this morning and got to 3,715 before failing. But I thought that would be, I actually had an order working at 3,700 and I'm still short gold here with the stop now at 3,690. But I think there's a chance that this could be a key reversal day in gold. So we'll see what happens. Markets are a little heavy. And again, I'm not predicting anything crazy. I'm not predicting that we're going to collapse. Look, the bottom line is the path of least resistance is still higher. A little selling wouldn't hurt anything. Certainly, if we're going to see any real action, we need a sell-off. You can see the volume has dried up once again. So we'll see. We'll see if something shows up here and gives us some opportunity. Working on a new program to what we're working on. This would have been a buy here in the S&P. Nice little trade. Okay, and here on the NASDAQ as well. This is something we'll start using in a couple of days. Maybe by next week, but I've been experimenting with it. But it's the same trade that I call, but it actually gives you a little bit more detail and tells you when. So we'll see. But again, right now it's kind of quiet. You know, we've had a little bit of whip. Gold took off to the upside, then broke back down. We'll see. I would think that gold's got a pretty fair chance of closing lower. I have a feeling, and again, I'm not telling you to act on this feeling, but I think the market's going to close lower across the board today. I tell you one thing, though, I would like to always be, if you're an options trader, I'd like to be long volatility here because of where we are. Maybe we're getting a little bit of a trade in crude here. Okay. Nice little spike up here in price, up 3 standard deviations from the mean. Let's see if we can get a little trade here and try to make a little dough. Our open trades are in good shape, so that's good. And all right, so let's flip it over to the 1 minute and see where we can go. Right now, if we got in, we'd have a stop at 64.27. 64.27. No trade yet. We'll see how it works out. But, you know, usually markets, when they reach a whole number, that's like a new high, like in gold, 3,700, that's a pretty good spot to look at it. Again, not for long term. It's a short-term trade. Normally, they'll fail off of that kind of number. No trade yet in crude. We're still waiting. We need a trigger to trade it. We could trade it off of the 3 standard deviations, but we'll wait and see how it trades out here before we get too. We don't want to be too aggressive. The markets are not allowing us to be too aggressive here, so we will be patient and wait for the call. You know, again, I think you've got PPI tomorrow, you've got CPI on Thursday, you've got the FOMC next Wednesday. So, you know, we're still slow. It's still hard. All right. So now crude. Okay. You can take crude if you want. 64.27 stop. And we'll see what happens here. Okay. And euro currency may be coming into play here. No, not enough volume. Again, not really enough, but crude was okay. Crude's slightly profitable if you took the trade. We'll see what happens. We're working to buy some back on the way down. So right now, it's quiet. We're not getting the quick jerk. We have had some pretty good moves in the NASDAQ up and down today, though. So that's a reasonable thing to look at. But again, obviously, I'm looking for what we call the blow-off trade, and certainly, if it doesn't show, then I'm not going to trade it. I'm still not going to jump in. I'm still not going to force a trade here. As I said, I do believe that this is a good time to be long volatility. That I think is a reasonable view. Now, the crude is not going down as fast as I would like it to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put my stop in, lock in a couple of ticks, and I'm not going to cover. I'm going to just lock in a small profit, cover my cost of trade and whatever, and take a chance. We got out of one at a profit, 10 ticks. So now I have a break-even stop anyways. So now we'll let it run, and maybe it'll continue to run for us. We're not in a hurry. We don't have to do anything. We can just let it trade. And anything else of note? No, not really. Not really. So we sit back and watch, but we do have a lockup winner in crude oil. So that's a good thing. And we'll see if it continues down for us. That's, again, that's what we're looking for. It did exactly. We got the blow off to the upside. We got the trigger sell to the downside, and here it is. So that's exactly what we're looking for from a trading standpoint. I'd like it to have a little bit more action. I'd like there to be a little bit more activity, but again, I can't force the markets to do what they do. So we have to just sit back and watch and relax. And once again, there isn't a ton going on here, so I will sit back and let it go. We are going down in the equities right now, but there's not a lot of speed, not a lot of reason to get involved, not a lot of trades to be made. But we are still short the crude with a nice profit, okay, and one off. So we're in great shape there, and we'll see if anything else does show up here. Let's just flip over. We'll take a look at some other stocks right now, see if there's anything for us to do. We already have a position in Apple, which is a winner. You can close it if you want and take the profit, or you can try to let it go all the way. When it gets down to about a nickel or so, I would close it, just because, again, then it reverses your risk-reward model. Amazon, certainly Amazon's worth taking a look at selling. Again, I'm still not going to be too aggressive here. There's too much news coming out into a thin market. If we had more action, if we had more business, I would be more apt to want to take more trades. So they're going to have to be really extended for me. Coin from the other day, we're still long, so that's a winning trade as well. You can take the profit or hold. Crowd, also a winner. You can take the profit or hold. There's nothing else to do here. Ether, nothing to do. Meta, again, another winning trade. Nothing to do now. You can take the profit. Google continues to go up. Google would be one to take a look at selling. Again, it continues to climb. Basically, first off the news, okay, from last week. Let's take a look at what it looks like. Google, Golf, Oscar, Golf, Lima. And I would sell these for this week for the 12th. Let's see here. I would sell the 237.50, 240 for $1. I don't know if we'll get filled. We didn't get filled yet. We're a little bit away. We need just to rally a little bit more. INOQ, nothing. IWM, nothing. MP, a little bit of a bounce. Could sell some puts with here, but I'm going to wait. It's not as exasperated. Watch Microsoft at 500. There's no trading to be made right here. I think 500 is the key level. Let's go back and see what's going on over here, if there's anything worth looking at. No, but our crude's a nice winner. I would go ahead and move your crude stop down to like 63.48. Okay. So again, we have to be patient, okay? But we do have a nice win in the crude. So again, we'll continue to let it go. Not enough reason to get out, okay? Now the other thing you could work here if you wanted, you've got about a 20 tick, 22 tick lead If you wanted to go to a trailing stop and let it take you out, you could do that, which is what I'm going to do. I'm working a 20 tick trailing stop on crude right now. If it keeps going down, great. It'll drag my stop down with it. If it comes back, then it'll take me out, and I'll take the profit and be happy about it because I've already got 40 ticks locked in. So, and that's from, if you're trading the micros, that's $40. If you're trading the mini, the regular crude, that's 400. Okay, and you're open and you're open and you're free rolling. Okay, you have no risk. So that's the way we like to trade when we can. You get that opportunity. In the meantime, let's go back here and see if anything else is developing. Monster, nothing really. NNE, nothing. Nugget, look, I'd like to sell it. I'm already short it myself. But again, one of the things with these leverage ETFs, when they go in the direction that they are designed, so the Nugget is a bullish on the miners, the multiplier gets bigger. If you understand how they price, they're not like buyers and sellers buying excellent bids and offers. They multiply out. So it changes, and the higher they get in price, the faster they go up. So again, it's an opportunity, but it could also be, again, it could take you out. So again, just something to think about. I've already got a position on, so I got drilled on it last week, so I'm on it again for this week. NVIDIA, certainly you could sell some put spreads, but once again, it's not extended enough for me to want to do anything here. I'm going to sit back and let it go. Again, I'm not in a hurry to do anything right here. Okay. That's one of the things I want you to always learn is you don't have to be in a hurry. Okay. You can be patient because the money you don't lose while you're being impatient will help you make more money when it is time. Okay. And I think that's important to understand as part of trading is to put yourself in the best position. And again, you remember your whole business is based on your bankroll, based on your money. Okay. So why should we be overly aggressive when the markets aren't tolerating to be over aggressive? Okay. That's one of the things I want you to remind yourself. The markets are not tolerating being over aggressive here. So why would we want to be overly aggressive? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay. So again, we'll continue to watch and see if opportunities show. Let's finish off our regular stuff. Anyways, Palantir, nothing. QBTS, nothing. The Qs, could be a sale here, but again, it's not extended enough for me. I'm not interested. It's got to be like a no-brainer. Okay. Not in a narrow, it's such a narrow range that it's really not that much of a no-brainer. SMCI, nothing. XYZ, nothing. SPY, again, same as the Qs. Could be, but again, with the current conditions, with the news coming out, PPI tomorrow, CPI on Thursday, I'm not in a hurry. Okay. I'd rather wait and react after the news instead of getting too involved unless there's a reason. Tesla, yeah, it could be, but it's in a very narrow range. So I'm not all that excited to do things when we're in such a tight range, because one thing a market in a tight range will tell you is that there's going to be a very big move. Okay. Direction to be determined. There is a big move coming, a huge move. Now, it could be both ways. It could be explode to the top and make new highs and then collapse, or it could be just a straight tank. Okay. So again, I don't know which way it's going to go. Based on this chart, I'd have to assume it's going higher. Okay. But I am leery and concerned that when all this news finally plays out and we find out where we're really at, and the lack of participation in the markets recently, the lack of the big banks participating, to me indicates that they're waiting on the sidelines to sell. And again, it doesn't mean I'm right, but that's how I look at it. And I'd rather wait. Okay. Because it's never you can always get into the market. You don't have to rush yourself in at any given time. What are you going to miss? A couple of points? It doesn't matter. Okay. Make sure that the market's doing what you think it's supposed to be doing, so that's your directive, versus trying to, let me guess, it's going higher, it's going lower. I mean, again, I have no real basis. Again, if you force me to make a decision, I'd have to be a buyer. Not that I want to be a buyer, but if you force me to make a decision, I would have to be a buyer here because everything points that the break should be to the upside. But it doesn't mean it won't go to downside. We've all seen how these markets have been functioning. But again, the very tight ranges make it troubling. Let's just go back here and see if there's anything worth looking at. Maybe gold. And it looks like our crude's going to probably get stopped out on my trailer. You might not be getting stopped out, but my trail stop's going to, well, it didn't hit yet, but it's close. Probably going to hit. My guess is it's going to hit. But I don't know. Gold is getting close to doing something, to being an opportunity. Gold's getting hammered pretty good here, so let's go take a look at it. It could be worth a trade. A stop on gold right now would be 36.63. But we have no trade yet. We have no reason to enter it yet. It is going down at a pretty rapid clip, so certainly we'd like to get a trigger. The real question will be is the risk that we'll have to take when we get that trigger. Okay, so we're just waiting. We're waiting for a green bar to show up and say, hey, I'm ready to take a little bit of turn. I'm ready to go the other way a little bit. But right now, still don't have a reason. Right now, it'd be like catching the falling knife. Okay. And we're still in our crude trade, which is a win. All right, gold, let's see. Now the question is how much risk do you want to take? Stop is going to be 36.60. Do you want to take $10 worth of risk on this trade? That becomes a personal decision. I'm not all that excited in the overall conditions that we have in the market right now, but certainly it's a trade that I will make if it comes. Right now, no trade yet. No trade. No trade. Okay, so it's no trade yet. So we got to wait another minute. And of course, now we're running up against our own clock. So let's see what happens. But that is certainly everything we're looking for. Okay, now we just need a green bar to trigger a potential buy. Okay, so the stop is going to be 59. Now the risk is getting a little bit too great. So I'm going to have to pass this trade. I don't like the amount of risk we're going to have to take to get in, but it isn't an official buy yet, but it will be. But again, I'm not going to chase it up. And it's still not triggered. It would trigger right about here if you wanted to buy it. Again, I'm going to pass it myself just because it's not enough action for me. I don't really see the real reason to get in, but it certainly is the correct trade. Okay, but I'm trading on the very conservative side right now. So I'm going to let it sit. And I've already got a nice profit in my other trade. So I'm going to be relaxed here. Look, again, remember, the key in this business is to be patient. Remember, every day I do a market 120, giving you an idea what I'm thinking. And I'll see you back here on Thursday. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you Thursday.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.